Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Let's get into it. Let's talk some baseball. I know all eyes will be on the college football slate today as well as the NFL that we have within week 3 kicking off tomorrow. But in this Major League Baseball betting slate, there's still some angles and edges that we can find as we get into the end of the season and transition into postseason play. There's a lot of things shaping up within divisional races and the wild card standings. So we're going to talk a little bit about that as well as kind of my best bets. I'll have 4 best bets that I really like as well as a couple props here. So it's going to be an action-packed video. I was up early, probably about 4 a.m., getting all my college football plays finalized as well as the baseball slate. And this is where it kind of takes a back seat to my action within football, but there still are a lot of opportunities within Major League Baseball. So let's get down into it. If you guys haven't done so, make sure you all subscribe right here on the channel. Smash that like button. And as always, guys, follow me on X if you have not already done so. And if you want to become a channel member, please do so today. Links down below in the description. That's kind of what we have going on here in terms of announcements. And let's get into the card. All right, so the first game we're going to talk about is the Pirates and the Reds. Now, Rhett Lauder going against Jared Jones. Now, Lauder has been a very impressive pitcher for the Reds in terms of ERA. I know the Reds have been faltering a little bit, 1-2 on the season. But we look in this game, my play for this one would be a no-run first inning bet if I had to give you one. Both of these teams out of playoff contention. And now as we look at Pittsburgh, they've seemed to be waving the white flag, losing 4 out of their last 5. And Cincinnati, conversely, has been playing some great baseball. However, they did get kind of shellacked by the Braves. And the Braves have been kind of in that weird spot where they can't really seem just to put that, dot the I and cross the T and get into the postseason. So they should, but, it's still left a little bit unspoken kind of what they've been doing, and that's something that we're going to continue to monitor. We took the Braves on the run line yesterday, and they ended up losing by 1, but that's something where we're going to stay away from them a little bit against the Marlins here, although it is a kind of a nice bounce-back opportunity against Adam Euler, but that's kind of where I'm at within this. So Reds, Pirates, Jared Jones, and Lauder, I would probably go no-run first inning if I was going to play this game. All right, next game out there is the Cubs and the Washington Nationals. We can talk about this one a little bit more. This will be an early game at Wrigley, 2:20 first pitch. We do have the Cubs coming in at a minus 140, minus 128, minus 140 favorite. Is probably the best number available. It's going to move a little bit because I think that the Cubs are going to take all the action. And now we see the Cubs at 79 and 75 on the season. Both of these teams essentially eliminated. Washington, oh my gosh, what have they been doing? Essentially dropping 5 straight, and it gets a little bit worse if you go a little bit later on because the games that they did win, they have all been, quite frankly, really low scoring. In their first 2 games against the Cubs in this series, losing 3-1, losing 7-6. With Hendricks going against Gore, it's something where we could call for a bounce-back spot for Washington. I just don't see the value. It seems to be like they've given up, but plus 125 for the Washington Nationals would probably be the way to bet this one if you were going to approach this from a standpoint where you had to bet this game, but it's going to be off my card. All right, the Orioles and the Tigers. Well, the Orioles have bounced back, and that is the next game we're going to talk about because they have won their last 2 games. Sometimes when you get that walk-off home run with what they had with Santander right there on Thursday, it really lends towards the narrative that you're going to get some, reversion. Detroit's been a hot team, winning 4 out of their last 5. And now the Baltimore Orioles winning 7-1 at home against the Tigers. Yet last night, we get Cade Povich going against Reese Olson. So this is kind of a game that I'm going to not bet because of the fact that I don't really think Baltimore's fully back and healed. However, I do lend towards taking the Orioles because I think when the Tigers, you realize how bad they actually are. This is kind of a little bit fool's gold for me. Reese Olson 4-8 on the season for a reason. So I do think the Baltimore Orioles here on the money line is the side to be on. It's a great value too. So give me the Orioles in a lean where we take them on the money line. Okay, Blue Jays, we got Yariel Rodriguez going against Taj Bradley for the Rays. This is another game where it's just kind of hard to bet it, hard to figure it out, just due to the standpoint that both of these teams are essentially donezo. And now we look at a game where you can see quite a bit of the money is on the Rays in the spot, which it should be. They have the better pitcher. Rodriguez is 1-6 on the season. Yesterday's game was a 1-0 win for Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's won 3 out of their last 5. They've been quite lower scoring affairs, and I think that the Rays are the side to be on if you were going to bet Rays, Blue Jays, but no play for me. Now let's get into an official play, and this is kind of where we lend towards the Mets' dominance and Sean Manaea on the bump for the Mets going against the Phillies. And let's just disregard the fact that the Phillies won 12-2. Okay, throw that out the window. That's an outlier. All two of these games of this series has been high scoring. We were on the under yesterday. We lost that bet, but now we get the Mets in a bounce back where I do think with Manaea going against Ranger Suarez, I also lend towards the under in this game, but I've kind of learned from my mistakes. But the Mets, you can't disregard that they've won 16 out of their last 20 games, and this is something where let's just cross off that 12-2 loss, look for them to bounce back, and we're going to take the Mets here on the money line at -109, which I think is a very, very good price, especially due to the fact that Ranger Suarez, by all accounts, has struggled as of recent, and the Mets starters have been pretty solid. Manaea has a sub-2 ERA throughout the month of September, so let's take Sean Manaea and the Mets on the money line here in this spot. Talked a little bit about the Braves and Marlins. In the Braves on a bounce back where they need to win a game, you definitely have to go towards the Braves, but at a -250 price, there's no way to bet it, so I'm not going to bet the Braves-Marlins game. Marlins games historically all go over the total. 7.5 is a very low number, so if I was going to bet this game, a pretty strong lean towards the over 7.5 at -120 in the Mets-Braves contest at 4:10 first pitch. Now, I do want to go a little bit deeper where we talk about the San Francisco and Kansas City game. This is Brady Singer going against Landon Raup. We could talk about this till we're blue in the face, but Kansas City has really kind of screwed themselves down the stretch. And the Giants are kind of that club that you don't want to play right now, 75 and 79 on the season. And they just quite frankly don't care. They're still playing baseball. And Kansas City at home, they need to win this game, but I just don't see it. So if I was going to bet this game, I probably would go towards San Francisco, winning 3 out of their last 5. They're playing good from a defensive standpoint. And Kansas City, I mean, you can go down their last 5 games. They've dropped 5 straight. They've dropped 6 out of their last 8. And that 4 out of their last 10 performance kind of resonates with me. Albeit I do like Singer better in the matchup. I just think Giants money line is the value play. So plus 138 for that would be my lean. The next game to talk about is going to be Seattle and Texas. This is a game where I'm not going to have another play, but this is a game where Scherzer and Emerson Hancock go toe-to-toe. Scherzer, 3.95 ERA since coming back off the IR, and Emerson Hancock, 4.83 ERA as well. This is a game where I lend towards the over 7.5. I'm not going to bet it, but that's kind of my best bet. If I was going to, I would take the over 7.5. Texas at home scores a little bit more runs than usual, and so that's kind of where I lean in the Rangers-Seattle matchup. Now, I do want to talk about the next game on the card. That will be Houston and the Angels, where I do have an official play. This is a pretty strong play for me, maybe one of my best plays of the day, where we take the run line. Okay, Houston is 7 out of 10. They've covered that 1.5. And now as they come basically off of a performance last night where they won 9-7, they did cover that run line, but they gave up a lot of runs. Now we get them in a spot with Ronel Blanco going against Reed Detmers. Reed Detmers is a lefty that I consistently fade throughout the course of the season. And -1.5 on the run line for the Astros at home, where they need to win this game, is a strong play at a -105 price. So give me the Astros -1.5 as a best bet, okay? And then we're going to go down and talk about the Arizona and Milwaukee game, where I've been all over the Diamondbacks in recent games, pretty much since the Brewers have clinched. And yeah, you can make the argument that, okay, Brewers are going to revert to the mean. They're going to win this ball game at home. Not so fast. Merrill Kelly has been absolutely phenomenal, 4-0 with a 4 ERA going against Aaron Savali. Another pitcher that I do consistently fade. The Diamondbacks have won their last 3 games in a row, and the Milwaukee Brewers, conversely, have dropped the last 2. Winning a game 2-1 against Philly, that could have went either way, but I'm going to take those out of the equation. Philly's been playing good ball, but I do think that the Brewers are kind of fugazi as we talk a little bit about them getting into the postseason, winning that horrid division, right, the NL Central. So I do like the Diamondbacks to win 3 in a row against the Brewers, and Merrill Kelly is going to get us there. So Diamondbacks plus 102, plus price. I got to have it. Really like that bet. So I do like the fact that this game probably is going to lend towards the over. We're going to get a lot of runs. Diamondbacks team total going over is also a play I like. So give me the Diamondbacks plus 102, okay, because they need to have this one. All right. And then Cleveland, St. Louis. I'm kind of off the Guardians train right now, just being honest. I know they've won and converted a lot of bets, and that's okay. That's great to have. I'm a Cleveland fan, so I do like the Guardians here on the road against St. Louis. It is Miles Mikolas Day, where I think Cleveland's going to be able to get to him pretty handedly. Okay, pretty handedly. 5.49 ERA, 8-11 on the season. But for Mikolas and company, I just don't see, quite frankly, them getting this one done. Cleveland's won 4 out of their last 5, and St. Louis at home kind of struggles to hit the baseball. So this would be a lean towards Cleveland, but I'm just not going to bet the Guardians because I'm not sure when they're going to try to, when their mindset kind of shifts and they just kind of relinquish the momentum that they've been on in this like fourth quarter of the MLB season. All right. Next, let's talk about another play that I'm going to have, and this will be the last official play. This is where we're going to look into the San Diego Padres and White Sox. This is a game where I'm going to have a couple props as well, but in this spot, I do like the Padres on the run line. Okay, now the reason why is it's Chris Flexen going against the Padres, and for all accounts, 2-14 on the season, 5+ ERA. Martin Perez, since been acquired from the Pirates, has been pretty serviceable. Okay, and this is a spot with the Padres at home. They just don't care. They're going to keep hitting the baseball. Fernando Tatis has been absolutely insane in terms of a stat line, returning to form right at the right time, getting hot for the Padres. So give me the Padres -1.5. They seem to be the team that kills me every night, but I still like them here -1.5. They needed extra innings last night against the White Sox, and I don't think that luck's going to continue. So look for the Padres to blow this one wide open. 2 props I really do like in this game as well. So if you guys are in the same game parlays for baseball, I'm going to be betting this one. I'm going to take the Padres either on the money line or the run line. I don't know if I like the -250 price, if that's bettable, but I might split it, take the -1, but I am going to take Fernando Tatis over 2.5 runs, hits, and RBIs. That's a plus number at +110. Couple that with Chris Flexen under his 16.5 out prop at -120. That's a nice little same game parlay for all you same game parlay bettors. Okay, and then the last 2 games on the card, quite frankly, are off my radar. It's the Yankees A's. I'm not going to touch the A's. Carlos Rodon is a pitcher I don't like to bet historically for or against, so I crossed that one off my card, so I'm not going to break that one down. For the Yankees, they're 90-64 on the season, going against the Athletics in their last few home games before they get relocated to Las Vegas. Okay, and then the final game, we get Walker Buehler going against Cal Quantrill, the Dodgers-Rockies. This game is going to be a dead over. 8.5 is too low. Lean towards the over 8.5. Also, I do like the Dodgers team total, and that's kind of how I would approach it from a betting standpoint, but I'm not going to get in bed with a -260 Dodgers number, quite frankly. So that'll wrap it up. That is my best bets. Good luck with all your plays. We got a lot of action today, a lot of bets here in college football. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, awesome. It's a great time to do so before you leave. Make sure you smash that like button as well, and I'll see you guys over on the Discord a little bit later on today. Good luck with your picks.